Here we go. And welcome back to LinkedIn Logs. LinkedIn Logs, the premier business podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Here we are, episode 19. We should be at something like 20-something, something or other here. But, oh boy, listen to that dog slurp. Look at that cat sit. Look at the two of them. I had a wonderful, we had a Halloween spectacular here at the White household. I'm trying to pull up the picture that I took with the two of them. Let's see if I can do a window capture because it's a very cute picture. And if you're not going to watch the video, you're going to be missing out. Okay, let's see. Oh, wrong one. Let us look at this one. Got it. That's the photo. That's the photo. Look at how cute. If you're watching the video, you see the photo of the pets. Look at how cute they are. So Nova's a witch. Maverick's a fireman. Okay, there you go. That's it. That's all I want to show you for that one. I have something else I want to queue up. Definitely not right now, though. Okay, so here we are, episode 19. 19 in LinkedIn Logs. Now, where are we in my working journey? Now, the start of this show was me just trying to... God, how do I turn off these video things? They're embarrassing. It happened in an interview with, I think his name was Greg Nice. I don't remember. It's embarrassing now that I don't remember that. Now, the show started because I needed an outlet. Tried a different way to get hired for different things. I've done it before. The application, I did 50 some odd episodes of that. Daily podcast. Did not get me anywhere. In fact, it got me lied to by one of the people working at the place I was applying to. A person I'm still connected with on LinkedIn. A person who keeps getting, what is it called? Promotions. Yeah, because I don't know what that is. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here, head in hand, crying. What's the other hand doing? Eating ice cream. Anyway, so here we are, and then I don't know if it had any help with getting the current position I have, but I want to pretend that it was my skills. And why pretend? I'm good. Who cares? Everyone knows it. People hire me, not the people who don't hire me. And it's been some time. And my contract was supposed to expire on the 21st of October. I'm currently still employed by Warner Bros. Discovery, the sub company, CNN, directly through CNN. So that's the good news. There is bad news. I think it's worse than the good news. Now, the bad news is I received a call last Tuesday, and I should have done this last Tuesday, but I was preoccupied with doing nothing. Now, I received a call last Tuesday from one of the people that hired me, and this person goes, "Hey, you see that you see on the scheduling that you're scheduled through to like December, 21st or whatever," and I go, "Yeah." And you're like, "Well, that means we're extending your contract." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not stupid." And then this person proceeds to tell me, "Well, that means we don't have to give you 40 hours." And I went, "What?" That's not what that means. She was like, "We don't have to give you 40 hours anymore." So essentially I don't know if everyone does this, because if everyone does this, this is BS. But And by everyone, I mean everyone at CNN, because I've worked contract jobs before, and they've been extended, and that has never ever happened. I've never heard of it. But she was like, yeah, we don't have to do that. So out and proud about it. And what it feels like is, when someone has a lawyer on retainer, that lawyer's not getting paid, I don't think, on retainer. But when you use them for their time, boom, you get paid. So I have to be ready at all times to work on days that aren't even set all the time. I've scheduled out my week. I've had 3 days off, which everybody I've told has been like, that's fantastic. What are you going to do? I'm like worried about not working. But I scheduled my next week. I put it on my calendar, my Google Calendar. And again, I have another week of 3 days off and then 4 days on. And then after that, it's like 5 days on and then 2 days off. Like it just doesn't make sense. It's a frustrating environment, and I'm gonna continue being very upfront about it. All right, well, yeah, I'm gonna continue being very upfront about it. Why? Because I can. I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry, I'm doing something. It's probably not smart, but who cares? Just clicking through on LinkedIn profiles, seeing what's up, seeing who's around. Okay. So now bouncing off of that, I checked my schedule for the Saturday night. Last Saturday night, the 28th. And we get schedule updates, which is fine. I miss autonomy. I miss just, doing my own thing, coming in on the regular days and doing a great job. But you do what you gotta do. But I check my schedule, not the day. I think the day of, or the day before, like a couple of, like truly at the end of my work day on Friday, and which is like 1 p.m. because it started like 7 or 3 p.m. It started like 7, and I see that my schedule has changed. And this is again post me getting this information about them not having to give me 40 hours a week. And I see that I am now working a 12-hour day, which I've done before, which I'm not a fan of, especially since now I have these 2 monsters I have to look after. And then you're gonna be like, oh, just pay for Rover. You gotta pay for Rover. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not letting somebody come in my house. A, when my apartment complex does not know I have these animals, and B, when I don't get paid enough to have somebody come over. Oh, but it's X amount of money. Not doing it. It's not happening. Why do people think they have to convince you to do things? No, I said no. I've already rationalized this out of my head. I don't want that to happen. Anyway, I get. I send a message, and sorry. Excuse me. So it's October 28th, and I'm scheduled now to work a 12-hour shift versus working that original 8-hour shift. And also, it's not just like a 12-hour shift with like 12 hours straight of shows, which I've done before, which is, again, something I don't like. It was like 4 hours of what they call standby time. And then 3 hours of show, and then like 2 hours of standby time, and then 1 hour of show. And then it's going to end at 11 p.m. And I went, no. I just went, I'm not doing that. Because, and you're gonna say, oh, but don't you want to work, blah 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 blah. I'm like, no. You tell me that you take away that you can do something, but I can't do something. So I stood up for myself, and everybody I told agrees with me. They're like, they can't just add on those hours at the last possible second. I'm like, yeah, they add on like 4 hours. I was originally supposed to get off at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, which is fine. I'd already planned that. I was like, fine, great. I planned around that. I would feed the pets. They'd be starving. They eat at 5, but they'd be starving, and Maverick might just come out of his crate and just take a dump right there on the carpet. But, any Hoosers, I send that email. I'm like, hey, this is ridiculous. I think I was like one of two people working a 12-hour shift that is like, that doesn't make sense. And I told you guys, I requested to not be able to not, and I've never worked a night role before. But I also requested to not do that because of those guys, the pets. And then the person had been caught in their trap. They've done this before, which is what multiple people have told me, both in and out of the office. They're like, oh, that means they've done this before, and they thought they could get away with it at the very last minute. And I was like, yeah, I'm standing up for myself, because I'm not going to friggin' deal with you take away my hours, then I'm just going to work how I want to work. Not how, but the way I want to work. Not the way, but I'm not doing your bidding. And then this person was like, yeah, we I was like, it's not happening. So I got to change back to my regular original time, which is great. I also saw somebody who I work with who is I'm not going to get too specific, but they do work at CNN right now, and I saw them. They're a producer. They're one of the big producers. And I saw them at a coffee shop yesterday, and they looked at me and they didn't say jack. I was like, and they were like, but like they didn't even know. They were like talking to a friend. They're like, I was like, I'll tell you this story. It's not really a story, but there was. Speaking of stand up for yourself, when the war in Israel started, the Monday after, it happened to be a time of transition for CNN, and they were bringing in, I'll say it, the B team to produce and direct and write and all that stuff. Meanwhile, the people in graphics and me were basically I was a consistent face in there. I'll say that. Now, and I'm not saying I'm part of the A team. I am saying that I consistently work that schedule, that shift. Now the B team, it's like putting in it's like taking out Steph and Draymond and like basically the big names from the starting five from the team, and then putting in a guy named Steve, and then some other guy named Jim, another guy named Pat. And like the people, like just people you just don't know. I never met before. And some of them, and news is a very special breed. There's two types of people who work in news: people who can take and break news and just run with it and not let it control and consume their personality, and then the people who can't, and people who scream, and people who think that talking louder than somebody makes them right. And those people work at CNN. Not a lot. Well, it sounds like so a lot of those people, not a lot, but some of those people were a part of that B team. And one producer, me, and now listen, I've been a producer at 3 separate times at similar sized companies. One producer thought it best to handle their shows by just screaming, yelling. We're all getting news in at the same time. Oh, so many X amount of people have died. People have done this. People have done. It's like, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. We're all getting the same amount of news in. This person chose to just yell. And and at one point, and everybody's screaming. And they're referring to other people. They're referring to me out of my name. She, that person. Oh, wow. I shouldn't have said that. I don't give it. So that person was referring to me out of my name. And, whether you know somebody or not, get to know them, especially in a workplace. But I met her at her level, and which means I screamed back. And when I scream, if you Do you remember a couple episodes? I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned this. I do this thing Wednesday nights. It is now since over because the season's over. When it gets colder, too dark. This thing called Hills, where we go to Piedmont Park. We run up and down these hills. We do sprints. We do hit stuff. It's great. It's wonderful, and it's tough. And it used to be just 20 to 30 people. Now it's blossomed up to 200. And I hated it at first, and I still hate it. But you know what? I've taken on a leadership role, and I scream at everybody. So I utilize that voice with this commanding presence, and I just asserted back to this person, my name is Chad. It's Chad. It's Chad. Much louder. And then I said some other stuff that's non consequential. It's just like, I used to do this. I used to. I'm meeting you at your level. And then things simmered down. Now that was Tuesday. So like it happened on Monday. I let it go Monday because it was the breaking news. But then Tuesday, it was just a thing of, you're going to give me some respect. Now the easiest thing, because it happened a second time. I'll tell you this much. What the heck is going on? Yeah, let's celebrate that. Now the second time. The second time was later in the week. And again, this is the C team. The C team is in. People I've never seen before. And they went back to calling me out of my name. At which point, I said, this is not happening again. Out loud. And then during a commercial break, I put my hand on the back of their seats. And I looked at them, I said, fellas. And you know when you're so nervous that when someone confronts you and then you're so nervous that you start laughing. That's what they were doing. They're like, like nervous laughter because they were unsure of what I was about to do. I said, guys, this is not going to happen. I laid out my points. I said, you're going to call me by name. All right? We're going to do this. And suddenly things got way more calm. When you meet people at their level. Now you can say, oh, that was unprofessional. That was this, that was that. A lot of people don't respond to when to you meeting at their level, to screaming on screaming, or quiet on screaming, or quiet on quiet. So I chose both routes, and I got what I needed out of it. I'm not bragging. I'm not saying that was a smart thing to do. That could have easily gotten me dropped. But you know what? I took the risk, and I think that's what's important. But also, we have learned. I learned a very important lesson. Since I'm at this level, and I used to work at this level, the first level was low, and then the second level was high. And now, but I'm at this level, this bottom level. I've seen the other side, and I now understand. Hey, let's treat the people below us with respect, and I will never treat somebody that is at a lower position, whatever, out of pocket. Well, I won't be rude. But that's what these people need to understand. Because if they don't, then I'll sock them. It's easy as that. All right. That's the thing of loyalty. You have to create loyalty. I just looked at my notes. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going off of. But you have to create loyalty when it comes to jobs like this. And if you tell them, I'm going to cut your hours, or like, we don't have to give you this many hours, then how is that going to make me want to go, I'm going to stay here? Because now there's a plethora of media sources, media companies that are all around us in this world, versus 23 years ago, I would have been like, well, they cut the hours, and I gotta put my head down and continue doing that work as hard as possible because this is all there is. But no, you kind of like I see that as a veiled threat. Hey, we don't have to give you full hours. Well, then I don't have to give you my full heart. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do the job, and then I'm gonna leave. I think it's insane. Like, why? What's going on over there? Maverick. I think he's on the bed. Maverick. Come here. Maverick. Oh, there he is. Okay. I'm leaving it all in. I'm not I'm not going to take that out. But why would I want to continue to do, like, I'm going to do my best. There's no doubt about that. I treat everything like I'm in the gym, you know? Sometimes a run really stinks, but Jesus, Nova, get off the table. I just cleaned that table. So, and now her cat butthole's on it. But why would I, like, I'm going to I treat everything like I'm in a gym. I will push through. I had a run this morning. It stunk. I wasn't running to the best of my ability. I wasn't running to the, my highest potential, but you know what? I did it to the best of my ability. And then when I lifted weights, I couldn't quite, do as heavy weight that was already cataloged in my thing, in my app. But I still did that weight, just not as many reps. I still did it. I did my best. So why would I continue? But applying that to work, why would I continue giving that much, even when it stinks? Just because that's who I am. That's what it is. And if the results aren't there, then it's time to find, just like working out, a new way to get around it. Okay. Well, I didn't do that well on bench press with a barbell. Let me work on it with a dumbbell and see how that goes for a couple of weeks, for a couple of months. And then in January or in December, let me try doing the bench with a barbell again. And I can do just that much more weight. Now, taking it back to CNN, I'm going to apply to, well, I've already done. I've applied to 7 other positions that are at the level I am, career-wise, or skill-wise, rather, as opposed to something that, now I have to, again, I haven't done this for, years since I was at the Weather Channel. Now it's been like 6 years, and NBC, but now I'm going to have to work on Thanksgiving and Black Friday and Christmas and Christmas Eve. Because I think it's either December 21st or 31st. I don't know when my contract ends. Because, these people want to treat you one way and expect you to just bow down their knees and kowtow to who they are and go, oh my God, I'm so thankful to be here, and you're the only thing I have. But no, that's not going to happen. I don't want to be somebody who just does that and who kisses the ring. That's not me, and that's never going to happen. I don't care if David Zaslav came to the office. It said, it literally held out a ring and said, kiss my hand so you can keep your job. Same thing for Mark Thompson, the new CEO. I don't care. Until you actually experience, like, this is why Undercover Boss is sometimes when I'm working the afternoon show on Saturday and Sunday, in the control room, there's just a crap ton of TVs, and like 8 of them are keyed on, the local affiliates, the 4 local affiliates, and then CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and CNBC. And on CNBC, they always air Undercover Boss on the weekends. And whenever I have, I'm not actively doing my job, I look up at CNBC and I see Undercover Boss playing. And it's always like some 50, 60, 70-year-old white guy getting dressed up to work at a Jamba Juice. And they're wearing an obviously fake mustache and a Jamba Juice hat. And they walk in, they're like, hello, fellow children. And it's a 20-year-old, always a woman, is like, I'm a single mother with 2 children, and we just don't make enough money here. Or it's always an angry manager, and the boss is like, did you remember me? I'm Frank, the one who was working for you last week. You were rude to me. Anyway, they need an Undercover Boss and see what's going on at CNN. That's what I'm saying. Zaslav, and I'm not attacking you guys, Zaslav and Thompson. See what's going on. And then take an understanding and go, maybe we don't pay people enough. Maybe we are overworking people. All right, so speaking of the jobs I applied to, I applied to, 7 jobs, and and they're all via Workday. I think a majority of the major companies right now go through Workday, with the exception of Paramount. I know Fox does, Disney does, and Warner does. But I'm on Workday, and I'm seeing 6 of the applications say under consideration, and then one of them says in progress, and I think, well, what is, and if you're on, and that's the internal side. If you still go to the regular side, you get the same thing. And I thought, what is in progress? And now there's this website, Surety Systems, that has an understanding or has a definition of all the things of Workday. And there's a long article, but we'll get to the part where I really want to talk about. In progress, this is what they write. The in progress status in Workday means your application was received from the job posting and is under review by the hiring department. This is the first status that your application will show after you've submitted it. And it can be anywhere from a few days to a few weeks after submission. And that means literally nothing. That means they got it in. So either the hiring department or a robot they're scanning the PDF, and they're going, okay, this is, oh, you apply for producer. Well, does the word producer appear anywhere on the application, on the resume? I was going to say a Simpsons joke. There's an episode where I think it's called "Take My Wife Sleaze," or I think that's what it is. And a biker gang kidnaps Marge because she's helping them. like they stayed at the house, at the Simpsons house, and then she's helping them improve their lives. And then there's one of the bikers that's like he's like, she helped me with my resume, and then another biker goes, resume. Such a funny joke. All right, I'll stop. Okay. Under consideration, which is the other 6 that I have. If your status says under consideration, your application has passed the initial review and is being considered by the employer. That status means your application met the primary qualifications for the position, and the hiring team is interested in taking the next steps to learn more about you. Now, I've not seen the rest of these. So under consideration makes sense, and in progress makes sense, but I've not seen the rest of these. In progress makes kind of sense, pseudo sense. For future consideration, interviewing, interviewed, rejected, offer, and hired. I've seen hired once. But the rest it's a very interesting article that explains the things that you see on Workday. But again, I've only seen in progress, under consideration, and I saw hired again once. But I just thought that was a very cool thing to see, or at least to understand, to get a grasp of why the heck are these just sitting in limbo and under consideration. I also have one more thing I want to show. Okay, so this is bad. I forgot that the Bluetooth was hooked up to the speaker, my Google Home Max. Is this it? Nope. Is this it? Okay. So CNN had its last broadcast from the Atlanta studios. And as you can see here, this is at the end of an episode with there was all this stuff was happening. It was like Israel stuff, Ukraine stuff, the main shooting, but they decided to do this. They didn't decide to do this. So as you can see, we're all saying goodbye, and you can spot a handsome little devil right there. We're all on screen. There's people in here who I've never seen before. But yeah, look at that. There's that guy. Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Actively working. I need people to understand. I was actively working. I was sitting there doing my thing, and then all these idiots came running in. I want to be on TV. I want to be on TV. You friggin' plebeians. You haven't been on TV before? I've been on TV so many times you don't even know. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. That was a cool thing to show. But I definitely did screen capture it. Cut down that story. It was like a 3-minute thing. All right, listen, if you like what you heard here, head to website cpluscomedy.com where you can see, and also listen, I'm not just crapping on the company. I just think things can be better. Like, don't ask me for suggestions and then, poo-poo all of them. Just saying. cpluscomedy.com where you can listen to the other podcasts, Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and the Constitutionals podcast, which is the entertainment business news podcast premiere show. You want to see a video version of the show, youtube.com. I have all the shows, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. There's news time as well. It's coming back at some point, I promise you. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Or X, excuse me. Snapchat, no, TikTok. At cpluscomedy and me, at Chad Black White. Thank you for listening. We're going to go. Am I rolling the right? Okay, yeah. Okay. Bye.